is Real and Raw with Lynn and Brian. I think that's Brian. Are you Brian?
Yeah, I'm Brian. Yeah, that's me. Yep.
He's like a witness protection program right now or something. Hi. Oh my gosh, this is just so. Look how tiny you look if I do that. We ain't gonna do that. I'm like, I better sit back here though. I'm gonna sit back here.
Sit back.
Sit back. I know. Everybody's like wondering, Lynn, what'd you do? Replace Brian? And we have to have it this way. It's got us to put on their co-host Brian Kelm. And I think we're not even going to put because if I put what we're going to talk about today, then people are going to wonder, Lynn, you're talking about that, but who the heck is this guy next to you?
No, nobody wants to see what's underneath here, but no.
So what you been up to, Brian? Come on, we want the update. You see, we don't want to do that.
I was very disappointed yesterday with the Super Bowl results. It is what it is. This is very weird to me to be number one. I've never done a broadcast or done many things in the backseat of a truck. So let's just
I feel honored. I feel honored.
I mean, I got my iPad laying sideways with the keyboard, so that's a first. And I've got this little plastic bot, this little plastic Rubbermaid tote to elevate it a little bit. So
listen, you need to take a picture of that, and we need to post that sometime because that would be funny. And Tom says it's -5 over there.
I've been hearing things, yes, and I'm here till the 17th. So
it's -11 here in Montana. So. You picked a good time.
Walking on the beach at Camp Pendleton's a lot different than walking outside in Wisconsin right now, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So to answer your question, yeah, I'm still not. I still haven't coped well with this whole time difference thing, but we'll figure it out. in this, nothing you would share in public. Yeah, well, you don't know me well enough, Tom. So there we go. Anyways. You don't know me well enough, Tom. Sorry. But this is a family show.
Yeah.
So how's it going? I mean, eating, we had the Black Magic out, or not Black Magic, but, the great, we had hash browns and eggs and frittata and stuff. So it's good. But tomorrow morning we head out back to the house. So I will have regular water and shower and the windows behind me. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, what's your call? We got Sharice watching. Good morning, and Tracy. Good morning. And and I've got three layers of clothes on myself because I'm thinking cold, -11 here. So what's the temperature there though, Brian? 60? Come on now.
Probably 65, something like that.
Oh my gosh, 65! I would not be dressed like you are.
Well, I mean, it's going to warm up, but it's weird out here because it's something known as the marine layer, I think it is, where it's where. Obviously it burns off by like noon or whatever, but it's like condensation in the air, and it can look like it's like a mist or like fog, and it usually burns off the warmer it gets throughout the day. So that's it's really weird when that happens, and every day's a little bit different. But by noon, usually it's burned off. So. But yeah, I mean, this is unlike me. I mean. I was going to take a shower for the occasion, and I'm like, okay, screw it. We're going to have a discussion about, respect regardless. But I knew that I'm not going to miss the show. So.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. So this is literally what we could call, we got the show on the road, guys.
What? Who says I'm not driving right now? No,
oh, shit.
No, that would be, yeah, that. No, it's I'm like I unless I communicate with travel or whatever, I want to be on the show in Wisconsin. 60 shorts and t-shirts. Yep.
And Sharice says it's 73, sunny in Florida. Well, thank you for the news. I don't think we were looking for that. No, just kidding.
No. And it's like this hat, a shirt that's not even mine, and I've got an amazing amount of growth, so that'll all be gone by the next show.
You guys, next time I have to do a replay down the road, I'm going to replay this.
Oh yeah.
The day we had
But it's one thing. It's true dedication, regardless. I mean, Lynn and I tested this out because I'm using the cell phone tower. I've got all bars. Wi-Fi is public access, so it's like anybody can be on at any given time. So we streamed the Super Bowl through my device yesterday, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna run with it. So no issues so far. So we're good.
no issues, but my camera's like trying to all be all funky because
yeah, because it's not used to just all this facial hair in the hat. You know what I mean? So it's having a hard time adjusting.
Oh, it's so funny. So today we're going to talk about respect, but I'm not going to put it. Actually, what I'm going to do is instead of our ticker banner there, I'm going to add it to our banner in the bottom.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah.
So while I'm doing that, you can keep yakking away. Give me a minute.
We thank everybody for tuning in. Our normal, everybody that's chimed in so far, thank you for being supporters of our show. And this whole month has been dedicated, or the past, we're going on 4 weeks now, talking about relationships and the many different facets of the topic. And the first week we started off with kind of like a, I don't know, like a dartboard style approach to it, where it's very broad. And then week number 2, we got into likability, and last week was about trust. So this week we're going to be talking about respect, and then moving over to Valentine's Day and intimate relationships. So
there we go.
Transitioning forward.
That looks good that way. Yeah, because it's too big. Like I said, my camera, I got to fix that. That's going to drive me crazy. And everybody else too. Take that out of.
There are so many different qualities to relationships, regardless if they're personal relationships, business, or intimate. As like we did that one quality show where my mind works in hierarchy, where it's like 1 through 5, or 5 through 1, and then yours is like all of them. There is no right and wrong. And I think respect is also another thing too, is that you really, you either have them all or you don't have any, is kind of the focus, and it's hard for me to talk about relationships without bringing up respect, so
hi,
what's
Larry.
up, Larry?
And then Tracy says here
yesterday, and I'm so sad that Mahomes and the Chiefs didn't do a two-peat. So Tracy said, we have warmed up sunshine to -27 feels like -34. Yippee.
Oh man, I was in Wisconsin that one year where it was -50 and the Packers were, and I was like, oh yeah, that was stinking really cold. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, respect is certainly a topic of you definitely have to earn that. I mean,
what is like what
but you respect. Go ahead.
Lynn. Go ahead.
No, before I go in that, Tom, if you want to read that.
Sure. Tom says receiving respect from others is important because it helps us to feel safe and to express ourselves. Respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, even when they're different from you or you don't agree with them. Respect in your relationships builds, I'm going to go out on a limb to say is that don't expect respect. Just go out and offer to others, and then it'll come back to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And thank you, Tom, for your input there. I appreciate that. Yeah. But absolutely. And you want me to look up the definition of respect?
Sure, if you don't mind, just so we have a basis to work from. Yeah.
So you go chat, and I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, I mean, respect is obviously respect is going to be different for everybody based on our backgrounds or what we've been through in life. But I think we all can agree upon that it's impossible to have truly great relationships without respect. And it's intangible, just much like a lot of these other qualities, like likability and trust, is that respect is also intangible. I think the amount of time you spent with somebody, along with how they show up and just the feelings. I think that when you combine all those pieces together, that's when respect is much more, when you respect somebody. I don't think that respect is that something like you just wake up one day and you just, tomorrow I'm going to respect that person, right? I don't think it works that way. I think it's something that happens little by little, maybe at a snail's pace, and how that person shows up for you every day, just like trust, is that if they said that they're going to do what they did when they said they were going to do it, integrity, that it starts to build over time. And I think that respect and trust are to some people, they might be blended together, but respect can be gone just as fast as it comes in. So
Man,
it's
Google has a lot to say about love and respect, and I'm like, can you just give it me the damn meaning, and that's it, man.
and I mean, to give credit where credit's due, I know that Jeffrey Gitomer, mentor and coach, and person I've met several times, and just the guy that helped save my life. I've studied him for over 25 years, and I live what he preaches. And the principles is that it all begins with like. You're never going to respect somebody unless you like them, or you're never going to love somebody without and so there's a lot of elements that if one piece is missing, like if it's a recipe, it's not going to turn out well, and the beautiful part is
There's
that
one.
all of these are earned, they're not given. So the definition that was pulled up is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Okay. What just by that, thank you, by the way, Lynn, for pulling that up.
You're
what
welcome.
what words stand out to you right there that we want to hone in on for the next couple moments?
Yeah, hold on one second because I have the other part of that, and I want to make sure
Sure.
I have it queued up.
Yeah.
Okay. A deep feeling for someone or something. What is to achieve? Well, well, I look at respect in two different ways. Respect for yourself and how that looks like to you, because
Right.
we disrespect ourselves all the time. And then there's respect for others or for things. So depending on, like if you're using a piece of machinery or something, do you have respect for it? Or if you have respect, but being that we're talking about relationships sometimes are, work relationship, business relationship, personal relationship. I mean, there's a lot of levels of relationships, and a level of, like you said, whether you cherish it, whether you don't, whether
Yeah.
whether it's a good relationship or a bad relationship. I mean, it just, and it like achieving your goals in a relationship. Are you working to better your marriage? Are you looking to better, communication? I mean, it just, the whole thing of trust and respect is like they go hand in hand almost.
So based on
So
what based on this context of the definition you pulled up, the first part of it, what good morning, Ernest. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your viewership. A feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. What words stand out to you and why, based on that first part?
well, I don't know about the abilities, but qualities. I mean, qualities would be just the person, the way they, just them being, and just the person itself. And then I'm like, but the abilities, I mean, I guess abilities, I don't know, your ability to, so what? I don't see why abilities are in there, because qualities would be stuff that you see the person as a whole. What do you see about them that you respect? You respect them being on time. You respect, their actions, their demeanor.
abilities could be from their, from their inherent talents or skill set, what they
Oh, okay,
did,
all
what they
right.
sacrificed. I mean, we need more
So
of a context to get specific, but like,
yeah,
let's say, like for instance, respect, abilities. Tom Brady, right? You may not like him as a person, but you have to respect his abilities.
there you go.
That would be right in there. And then obviously achievements and qualities. I mean, will all of those,
Yeah,
for given this context, go right hand in hand?
that's true. So the respect, I mean, like you said, you always hear you got to earn your respect.
Yep.
And so, um, it just all depends. Let me see. Like in a business owner, I'm going to respect them for having a business that helps my life, whatever it is, they're solving a problem for me. So I have the respect that I can trust them in that.
Right.
And then respect in a friendship to know that they're going to respect me, you know, um, respect my thoughts, my feelings,
Yep.
and so, um, that's in friendship. And then in a relationship, you got to know that they're going to respect your boundaries and respect who you are. So there's just a lot of different things to think of depending on what the relationship is,
Yeah.
or
And,
who.
and as a baseline for all of us is that it is our coveted space. It's our coveted space to define what that is for us, but then to go out in the world and live in and abide by it. Right. Is that there's nobody telling us what it should look like. We're just offering some suggestions and diving into the actual words, in fleshing out what that might be for you. So if we can make a blind spot unstuck, not only will it help us out, but hopefully it helps you out. So for me, looking at the words, it's like a feeling, right? Those are our own thing. Those are up to us to decide upon, right? If we feel that we respect somebody, well, that's where it begins. And it's like, that's our coveted spot. What somebody's experience of respect might be different than yours, or maybe the feeling comes quicker, faster, or later, right? But to me, that's kind of like a no-fly zone because each person derives at it differently, depending on if it's a business arrangement or, whatever. But when we talk about intimate, or, since we are close to Valentine's Day, it's a feeling, right? And it only deepens or it doesn't. It's kind of like what we've referenced several times about Dr. Stephen Covey and the banking analogy, as I call it, where it's all about deposits and withdrawals, right? Those feelings of comfort, those feelings of security, those feelings of support, right? Those would be things that would be a deposit, but a withdrawal would be is if somebody's late all the time, or if you can't trust them, or if their behavior is not consistent with who you know them to be. So those would be withdrawals. And elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. All of that for me is in one short, concise sentence. It's about their actions, right? It's about the things that they do. Abilities, qualities, and achievements. What are they driven by? Why do they do it? Why do they work hard? All of that is within their actions. If it was all about in their talking, but there was no actions, well, no, that is talking about it instead of doing it. And that's proof. Now, I may not like Tom Brady, but I still have to recognize if I want to look at, just by what he's done, you can't deny that stuff, even though you might not like his demeanor or who he is as a player, or the teams he's played for, just in this context. But their abilities, qualities, and achievements. And when we're talking about intimate relationships, is that how do they show up to you? What is their motivation? What is their purpose for being there? Do they have an ulterior motive, or is it because they really want to be there for you? They want to see if there's a future together, if it's in an intimate conversation. So, and then the second part of that is due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. So, of those words, Lynn, what stands out to you?
Feelings, wishes, rights.
Okay.
Well, all of them for me, because obviously if you're respecting my wishes or my rights and what tradition that means something to me, you're showing me respect. I mean that would be all pieces that you need to see that as ability to want to respect, appreciate somebody that respects you and all those things. But it's funny is because we ourselves, if you look at that for in looking at introspect for yourself, do you regard your feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions for yourself?
Right.
And like they say, if you can't find it for yourself, how can you find it for others?
Correct. Or Or in that context, is that if you can't bring that to the forefront, that's who you are as a person. If you have to minimize yourself, or if you have to kind of hide your true identity, and not because you're, or actually self-expression, if you have to minimize, like for me, I'm a very interactive person. I'm a very extroverted person. And if I have to minimize that to be in a crowd of people, well, then I'm not respecting myself. You know what I mean? I'm minimizing who I really am. And is that fair to anybody? No.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny you say that, because I even just did that Myers-Briggs, the personality test again, because you do self-development, you've got to check yourself, because you can see where the wheels are spinning, and it still shows 58% introvert, so I'm like I try to push that, but I used to be like 76% introvert. So I'm pretty proud of myself. But again, I was just like, look at my scores. But seriously, it is one of those things where if you can't see it within yourself, it makes it difficult to see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so many people, like, go ahead.
For me in there, it's what I see, and the one word trigger. I mean, all of those words are important in terms of a visual that it's creating, but traditions, that it's like how somebody shows up is that you're willing to understand them for who they are and what they do, right? Whether it's a family tradition, a cultural tradition, or just something that is important to them, is that you show up for them from blank canvas. No judgments,
Right.
no assumptions. Like I'm out here in California, and there's been several things, that have I've witnessed, and things that have said amongst family members of my, of my girlfriend and stuff. And it's just like, wow, one of her cousins said, like, wow, after this trip, you're not going to show up. You're not going to come around us anymore, are you? And I'm like, absolutely not. You guys are just being who you're being. And she was joking around, of course, but if people can't be fully themselves, their true self is not, if they have to feel like they got to be somebody else. Number one, I despise that kind of behavior, right?
Yeah.
Because just give it some time, and that person, what the consistency of how they show up is who they're going to be. You can fake it for a while, but you can't fake it forever. And
right.
I'm not going to be somebody who I'm not going to be somebody fake for somebody else. No, I'm going to be who I'm going to be, and I'm going to be around the people that, like that old quote that says, people that mind don't matter, and that people that matter don't mind.
Right. Well, and there's just I used to hide being an introvert, so I'd be this awkward extrovert trying to act like, well, this is how you do it, right? It's like, it didn't feel authentic, but I also knew I had to get out of my way and I had to be heard. So, it's that internal battle to respect yourself, like you said, and to me, and I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for this, but this was my perception, people. So, and I'm being raw here, but truly, I was always embarrassed to be an introvert or let people know that, because to me, it showed my insecurities. And really, being introverted and needing my time away, I realized the difference, but you don't move the needle unless you change or do something. Right. So I knew that I had to get out of my comfort zone and not hide. I don't want to hide, but Brian, I can't do that because I'm an introvert. What the fuck is that? I mean, like, honestly, people, I'd rather say, Lynn, that's bullshit. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. You can do this. Get out of your freaking comfort zone. You can do, so I have that, on and off switch. Oh, I'm going out there and I'm just going to be bold, and that's who I am. But, but if that's how I see myself inside, is the ability that I can be bold, then why not get out of my comfort zone and do it, and respect the fact that my intuition, my whispers tell me I got to do something. Sometimes now I laugh. I'm like, you want me to do what? You want me to say what to people? And I realize the more that I'm self-conscious about telling people what I need to tell them, I realize, wow, they needed that message. So who am I hurting, Lynn? I'm not hurting. I'm having people lose out on an opportunity that I've been blessed to give and share with. So yeah. Yeah, Jerry, I am. You want to see my scores? I'm for real.
and
So you
I
see?
think that, you know, like there's the one person that stands out to me is Darren Hardy. You know, he's friends with Jeffrey. He was like literally like in their early training, Jeffrey and Darren Hardy sat next to each other when they had those Jim Rohn weekends, right? And that's how I think that they met. And he talks about, like, you know, for all of these stages that he keynotes and whatnot for all these conferences, and he used to be the publisher, the producer of Success Magazine. So he had a lot of responsibilities, but now he's away from that. But he's an introvert. He'll say that as much as he's an extrovert on stage, he's an introvert. And I start to see patterns amongst, you know, people that have a big following and whatever. They also need to have their own time. And you know, I don't think it's, when you look at it like that, it's like, you know, like with likability and respect and trust, I think that it points on us before it ever points out to anybody else. Is that because if we don't have it, how can we instill it into others? Or how can we help others find it if we don't have it ourselves? And for me, I love my downtime in the morning with a fresh cup of coffee, something to read. Maybe it's catch up on articles on my phone, or, you know, watch a couple tech videos or geek out for a little bit. But it's like that time that is just for me to start my day, instead of waking up, getting after it, and then I'm dealing with other people's stuff. You know, if I start
Right.
with myself and just wake up as the day and I don't sacrifice that, I think that
It'll
that's
be
the
a good
respect I
day.
have for myself.
That's awesome. And then it's going to be a good day, right?
Absolutely. Right. Because
Yeah,
here's the thing
for
is
sure.
that the day is going to, you know, the day is going to, we don't know what the days are going to look like. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it gets a little far away from us, where it's like, oh my gosh, you know, now the day is opening up. It's sunny outside. There's all this stuff going on. If you don't make that space for yourself first, something else is going to take it away, or somebody else is going to take it away.
Absolutely.
So if you're granted with another day, start that day off with you first, and then other people the rest of the day. And
Yeah.
you know, I think
Before
that, like,
COVID.
when we look at like self, if we put self in front of likability, so self likability, self trust, self respect, if I think that that is a prefix that has to be there in a lot of these, so we have it for ourselves first before we can share it with the world and be it in the world.
I agree. Before COVID, man, I used to just love waking up in the morning, 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and go swimming for an hour and a half, and then start my day and stuff. And you know, it's kind of hard when I'm around little seniors at the pool, and they're coughing and hacking, and you know, at least I got about another 30 years of my life left. I'm hoping. I don't want a chance at being around somebody that doesn't give a crap if they're coughing for a special reason. So, anyways, but yeah, I really miss my old routine, and but yeah, it makes a difference. I mean, you could just, everything's, you know, sharper and right on point. If wow, my dog's going crazy here. So yeah, be grateful for yourself.
100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, even like,
So
I even think about like, you know, something I grapple with, because once this gets going, then it doesn't make any difference how much sleep or how little sleep I had. Is that when this brain gets going and it starts thinking, you know, I mean, going all the way back to Dale Carnegie, where he said, you know, instead of trying to fight, go back to sleep, get up and start pursuing something. Or Mel Robbins says, where it's like, okay, if your brain is firing and you can't go back to bed, the worst thing you can do is try to go back to bed. Go into a different space, read a book, right? Read a magazine, you know, cuddle up with a blanket, maybe a glass of water. And then more than likely, after you become at a rest and your heart rate goes down, then you're going to fall back asleep. But for me, a piece of that self-respect would be is proper rest. You know, if you need a nap, you need a nap. I mean, those basic things that we keep talking about, right? That we might not live on a consistent basis. You know, like, I don't drink enough water every day. I could do that. I could respect myself a little bit more by drinking more water, you know? So yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm glad it's helping you, Lynn. So when we take all of the stuff that we've talked about for the past couple weeks and we put self in front of it, I think that in order to do that for others, we first have to do it to ourselves. And and then we know that our pot or our own reservoir is going to be full, because if we're filling up somebody else's reservoir but ours is empty, eventually we're going to get too exhausted doing that, or feel like we're not getting any return on that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And so, respect is something that, what do we got here?
Self-care is testimonial for, yep. And to me, and I think that one word to add to that is daily self-care. Because if you
especially, what's funny is,
go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say,
it's true, because thank you. You're such a gentleman. I like that. No, seriously, it's like my voice is telling me, Lynn, like it craves when I'm not taking care of myself, especially lately with the weather or whatever. Like, it's freaking cold out. I mean, I didn't wipe off my car till last night for today to take my granddaughter to school. I mean, it truly is but man, you need to listen to that voice of reason, and that voice that's telling you need to do the things to take care of it. Because if not, it just really sets you off when you don't. It truly does. It's a ripple effect, man.
And when we look at it that way, from that context, is when you let yourself down, what is that doing for you? It makes you feel like less, and then you start to create a new habit where it's like, ooh, I get comfortable not doing what I normally did. And then you get far away from what you normally did,
Yeah.
Like for me, doing my walks every day, I'm still going strong, but does it get pretty tempting to just like throw it off for a day? Sure it does, but there's been way too much work done up here to make sure that that's done. And as much as I can to try to condition that for the earliest part of the morning as I can, because I know that when this thing gets going, I have that hunk of time that I've allocated for it to get it done. So everything still feels like it's in motion. But if it gets off of that, then it throws off my whole day.
So let me ask you this, being that you're on the road, how do you feel? Do you feel disruptive with your routine right now? I mean, do you have that respect yourself are you giving yourself room to be, well, you're not this or that, or, because when I'm in the zone, especially when I was bodybuilding or working out or whatever, it's like nothing would waver you when you're in the zone. And I'm trying to get back into my zone, but I'm just wondering, because you are pretty self-disciplined and everything, how are you handling the fact that you really are out of your comfort zone right now?
It's really a struggle, because it's like, to me, it's like, this is,
you feel like combatant?
Yes, this is partially a vacation, but for me, if people need to be responded back to, or if I got work to do, I'm going to do it. Right. I can't shut off that part of my brain because I'm self-employed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that never goes away. So to balance that with everybody else I'm with that's on vacation or retired, that's tough to deal with, because it's like they just shut it off because they don't have to go anywhere for that. Right. Like they don't have to go to work. So of course they shut it up, but my work can go with me at any given time, which is great. And there's a con there as well. Right. Number two is that, it's a real struggle to wake up every day and to, have my normal routine where I will shower, I'll have a cup of coffee, shower, and get ready for the day. Right. I've been lax on that, but I still shower every day. But to me, in my mind, that's when my day starts. When I shave, I shower, and I get ready. I smell good, and I go. So that has changed a little bit.
See,
and then along
we're
with
being
that is the
vulnerable
exercise.
here.
I am, but that's okay.
Exactly. That's great.
But I mean, showering every day, the working out and whatnot, when we don't take care of ourself, we damage our self-image. Living in integrity is a sign of self-respect. 100%. Absolutely. And but I haven't wavered from it. It's just that it bites at me. It nips at me until I get it done, right? Until I get a couple miles in. It's like, we're not going to play bags on the beach or do whatever until that happens, because this is non-negotiable. Now, if I could do it earlier in succession, hey Heather, thanks for being here.
Hi Heather.
If I could do those in succession where it's like just like every other day, that would be awesome. You know, so, but it's like, for me, I have that structure in my head. I have my self-discipline, and then the rest of the day can be what it's going to be because I did what I needed to do. So I have maintained it. It just hasn't been in the order that I would prefer.
So stay tuned for tomorrow, because Brian's smiling and he's looking all good right now. But tomorrow, the hat will be off and he'll be all smiling even more because he'll have the shower and shave.
Well, Wednesday. Tomorrow we'll
Wednesday. Oh, okay. So we got one more day looking like this, huh?
Well,
it'll be interesting to see you tomorrow.
Well, I will be transforming on Wednesday, because tomorrow we're going to have a blooper show, which will be cool.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we're going to have a blooper show of some of our backstage content, because we'll be traveling back to the house. So I don't want to be disruptive and have a show at a different time or whatever. And we'll be moving stuff around and packing up an RV. So it'll be we'll be in motion. So, but yeah, this right here will not be there on Wednesday, I promise you.
Well, you look good, and I can truly say that you look good. If you looked bad, I promise you, I'll tell you look bad. Okay.
Well, I appreciate
but
that.
You look great. You look great.
Okay. Well,
you just look like you're on a run from something or whatever, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, why do you think I went like this? And I tried to make a small, you know, my 6'3" frame at about 225 pounds. I tried to make myself as small as I could. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's nothing to worry about. What's going on? I missed it. Yeah, no, I'm not in the witness protection program or anything. I'm
not yet.
Well, yeah. No, I'm in San Diego right now, and I'm in a truck, and so there is no distractions and there's no people around, and I've got my iPad on the side with a Rubbermaid bin underneath, so it's proper height, thanks to Ken Walls and the Grow Live Academy. Yeah, talking. I guess I've been trained to say that.
Hey, you got a plug. Yeah, well, you should take a picture of that for me, though, because that'll be very humorous to see later.
But here's the one thing.
It's
non-negotiable if I'm going to have a show or not, unless it's communicated in advance. So that was the number one thing, because with a 2-hour time difference, it's like 10 o'clock here. And I'm like, holy crap, who has a broadcast at 10 a.m.? You know, but got to make it happen.
I do it mountain.
Exactly.
I do it mountain time. So I didn't have, this is my 10 o'clock according to Pacific, but hi, Josephina. Thanks for being here.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. She's in Florida. So it is afternoon over there. So, and it's still morning. I know you're going to be so discombobulated with your time zone for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I've been thinking about that a little bit just by the time, catching you guys live. Excellent. Thanks for being here. Is that when it's time to go back to Wisconsin, then I'll actually start figuring it out a little bit.
Yeah, that's why when I go see my dad, I take 2 to 3 weeks to go there, because, from Montana to there's 2 hours difference. So in the morning, but I'm compelled. It's normally be 6 o'clock or something. And I'm like, man, I just want to sleep in, and you don't want to waste the day sleeping in. So it really messes with you for a little while.
And I think that's also afternoon over here too in Virginia. Yeah. I think that's also another piece that goes into the self-respect, is that right there, is that however you prefer to have the morning or day show up is what you should do, and that might only be for your understanding and your fulfillment, where it's like, well, it's only 8 o'clock, and it's like, well, if somebody's used to sleeping in until whatever, well, then that's how much they value that part, but maybe they're in a night owl. So it's in order to stay up that late. But for me, I'm in bed by 9 or 10 at night just because I'm an early riser, and that's also another thing too, is that like oversleeping. I don't know if there is evidence of that, like scientifically, but Could I easily oversleep? Absolutely, but then I wouldn't be on my game. You know,
Yeah.
between 6 and
Josephina
7 hours.
goes,
Yeah,
she
she
used
said.
to be, and I think she used to be Pacific. She used to be in Vegas, I believe it was,
Okay.
and she's in
Okay.
Florida now. So most of my good friends are, you guys are PT. I'm actually Mountain Zone, but this time Brian is in Pacific, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
right
little
outside of
different
San
from.
Diego. So yeah,
He's normally Central time. Yeah, I'm
it's
an early riser too, and I might go to sleep at 10 at night, and
wake up, I get up.
Um,
Yeah.
I would, if I go to sleep at 10 or 11 at night, it doesn't matter. I'm still up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And like I'm up, and then right before my granddaughter gets here, I'll get up and I'll do some stuff and then I'll go lay down with her because,
Yeah.
we got just a small area here where I can't really do anything, whether it be on the phone or so then I take a nap, but yeah, I'm an early riser too.
Now, Lynn,
So,
are you the type of person that it's like once you're up, you're up? Like if your alarm goes off and you try to fall
yes.
back asleep, you're more tired after, or does that sleep actually help you?
Well, no, I when I hear noise or distraction, I'm up. And I'm
No,
up
but
for
what
a
I'm
little
saying
while
though
and
is
it's
like let's say your alarm goes off and you fall back asleep. When you actually do
oh
wake up, do
yeah.
you feel better or do you feel worse?
No, I feel droggy, so I know that that's why my ass has to get up the first time
Yep,
because
me
it
too.
makes
Me
it
too.
worse. It's like, oh man. And because you're feeling really, really good sleep, but you realize you got to get up now instead of naturally waking up when you do. Oh,
Yep.
it's awful. It's not a good thing.
There was
But I can
speaking of
take it.
that.
I realize
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I could take a 20-minute nap though and feel like I slept for hours though.
Yeah. That leads me to speak about another thing about self-respect is that for a while there I still grapple with it every day is late night snacks, right? I'm like that too. You feel horrible. It's man, when I'm up and it's like, man, give me some water, an apple or a cup of coffee or whatever, and I'm on my game. I'm a night owl. Usually go to bed around. Wow. Wow. That's usually what time I'm getting up in the morning, Heather. Wow. I can't relate to that world. I'm sorry. Like I'm not a night owl,
So
you know.
what were you saying? Sorry.
What I know about self-respect is that, I've grappled with this for a while is that I got a sweet tooth. And so, having a little something before I go to bed, and the way around that is to compensate that for just drink a big glass of water so you trick your body into believing that you're hungry, right? And you just fill it up with water or have an apple or something of fruit, which is going to be a lot better than cookies or ice cream or whatever. But ice cream is so good, so it's a and then also though I had a tendency years ago to when I know I should be going to bed, I'll compensate for falling asleep on the couch, and then I'll wake up in a few hours and then go to bed, and then you just feel like you feel like a freaking zombie
Yeah.
even more. And so
Yeah.
I'm still working on the late night snacks. If I try to do it, it's an apple or a glass of water or maybe a bottle of water. So I fill myself up, but I've fully given up actually going to sleep somewhere other than where I need to be, which is in my bed, you know.
Yeah.
And that was something I grappled with for years because it's like, oh, I'm just going to sleep here for an hour or two, and it's never that short, you know.
Well,
And then when you wake up
the
and go to your bed, then you just feel like crap the next day.
the other thing that gets me is literally I'll be talking to somebody. I'm like, I'm tired. Like when I'm tired and ready to sleep, like I need to sleep right then
Right.
because I will lose my desire to sleep. And then I get my second wind and I'm awake.
Mm-hmm.
That's really annoying too. And I'm grumpy because I'm like, I gotta go. Like I'm yawning right now. I gotta go. Cause like if I was on the couch and I go to get up to go to bed, well, I'm awake now. I can't go back lay down. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have that issue.
Tired is physical, and energy is created in the thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's
and Heather, she's so bad. She's tempting you right now.
I know she is, and it's one of the things I even asked my doctor about. I said, Doc, my doctor's a woman, and I said, I get these late night cravings, and once they start, they never stop. Where it's like every night it's a little something, and I told her, and she's like, hey, an apple's going to be a heck of a lot better than ice cream or whatever,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
obviously,
Well,
being winter, it's in order to keep warm and an extra layer, you got things laying around you shouldn't have to eat.
Yeah. Well, I know that intermittent fasting kind of helps me in the sense that if I say, "Oh, I can't, I can't eat," I got to let 16 hours go by, so I better stop eating at a certain time so I could eat like at 9 in the morning or 10. At least for me, because then the only thing I'm disciplining is that. But yeah, drinking water before bed, which is something I seem to crave and do a lot at nighttime before I go to bed. And I'll tell you what, though, what sucks is you're waking up in the middle of the night to go potty.
Right.
So,
And I mean, even if I love flavored water, yummy, yummy. Yeah, you're bad. You're bad, Heather.
yes.
You get me to do bad things. Best memories of my teen years. Yeah.
See ya. Bye,
Bye,
Tom.
Tom.
Have a
Thanks
good
for being
show.
here.
Thank you.
Is I mean, even at like sometimes just the regular taste of water gets old, right? Where you need a little something. So cut up a lemon or cut up a lime or whatever your flavor is, and pop it in with your water, just for something to get you over the hump. It could be a piece of orange, whatever it is, but just something that'll be quenching, or it'll just be great for your thirst. Could help you from just drinking another bottle of water that doesn't have any flavor.
Yeah, water is like the hardest thing for me, and I'm keep trying to do it. It's like, man, it's so good for your body, but it is something. But yeah, respecting yourself and respecting a way that's going to work for you and not go against you is definitely, at least, you're taking that measure with the apple. And Heather's going to have to be banned talking about food over here.
Yeah. No, Heather, we got our eyes on you.
That's okay. Heather wants me to do a live or something with her, and I have to make sure that I do it with Brian's schedule so he can come and heckle you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Just kidding.
That'd be great.
Hi,
I'll talk with Lynn backstage about your food poisons, and then I'll make sure that they're all decadent and looking nice on camera and positioned properly. So it's like, how did you know I like all that stuff?
Yeah, right. I read that before bed
is good for us. First thing in the morning is a plus. Yeah.
For water. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, water first thing in the morning is definitely a bonus, because then you get it going. Be nice, Lynn and Brian. Well, I don't know about all those ice cream cone emojis and all of that. I don't know how nice that was.
Yeah. Look at that. Look what she did there. Yeah, we got her. We got her number.
Don't bring it on unless you can take it, Heather. Come on now. As my dad said when he was alive, paybacks are a blank.
That's right. They are. It's just like they say, one can cut it, the other one can pick it, right? So same thing goes with that. If you're going to give it out, you better be giving out to expect to get back. And besides, what you give out, you get back anyways, right? And that's what. So it's a double-edged sword. You give it out, you're going to get it back.
So if Heather's going to give me, if I give Heather, goodies, she gives me apples back. So there we go. I like being an Oompa Loompa. Oh, wow. Thanks, Josephina. Thank you for all the pleasant and smiley emojis. That was very nice of you.
Very, very nice. That's real sweet. So are you cold right now or hot with that?
No, the sun's starting to come in. It's going to be noon here before long, so it's going to warm up here a little bit. So
yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm good right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a little while, it'll probably be a little warm. But
yeah.
We're at the beach.
Well, you want to talk?
And I haven't shaved in several days. So.
Yeah. Well, you look. Actually, the light's hitting you so good you can't really even tell. You're imaging just right.
I got makeup.
My dog's over here begging. You got makeup on. That's right. The studio got you already. I got my dog here.
Look at your dog.
He wanted to be on TV today.
Oh, hello.
That's Tank.
Oh, Tank. Look at him.
He's part pug and miniature pincher.
Okay.
So he's trying to get a message out to his girlfriend or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
as we move
Anyways,
into the end of our show, I mean, final thoughts on, respect, as we're moving into Valentine's Day and relationships and engagements and all of that. What are your final thoughts on this topic as we move into Valentine's Day, or at least sneak up on it, getting a little closer?
respect is if you really cherish that relationship, you should respect um in a healthy way. You should respect each other's perimeters, boundaries, what's expected, because without that, that really sets off the whole relationship. So you truly need to take respect is right up there with trust, because you're trusting somebody to respect you the way you expect it. And
Right.
like if they miss disrespect you or something, you're trusting that they won't do that after you reset your boundaries. And so the actions and the respect, it's truly something that can make or break a relationship in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And but some people, like somebody can truly say, hey, that bothers me. The other person will be like, haha, that's no big deal because it's not of importance or value to them. Well, they're disrespecting that person, and to deflect it, that it's no big deal to you and they shouldn't be whatever. It's totally disrespecting boundaries and respecting what a person has to offer. And so when you see those signs in a relationship, you need to go the other way because it's not going to get any better. If they continue to have that action, those are things that you need to see. And it's that time of year that if you're going to be engaged or if you're going to, ask somebody to marry you or whatever, and you can't ask yourself, can I live with this? Can I live with the to them it's a joke and to me it's serious. I mean, if these are serious, you have to stand up for yourself and say, these are things I'm not going to live with. And it's definitely inclination that you might not be the right compatible suitor for you. I mean, it's just truly something you need to look at because what are you going to do? 20-year anniversary, go ahead and look at each other and say, well, this has bothered me since the get-go. And it's like, and you didn't speak. That's why they say, speak now, forever hold your peace, right?
Well, there's three things for me. Number one is, are they adding to you or taking away from you? Are they contributing to
Yeah.
you, or are they adding into you and contributing to your life, or are they detrimental to your life? Right?
Yeah. We got some
Learn each other's love
feedback.
language, showing that you love someone enough to watch, listen, and respect what they need and want. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great book, by the way. I'm
Yes.
whether or not somebody's in a relationship, I think it's one of those books that everybody should read, just like Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Norman Vincent Peale, any of those. My dad used to say, when respect is gone in a relationship, there's nothing more. Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Absolutely.
And
So
that could be something that could be something that that you were a part of. It could have been something that somebody that doesn't even know what it is. You know what I mean? Where maybe you never had the respect. Maybe they were a great actor, or a great actress at it, but it's like, did they, and this goes back to the Dr. Stephen Covey thing, is that how much do they contribute to you by the things that they say to you? How do they make you feel? Is it more positive or negative? Right? Even if your heart is a little bit clouded in terms of how to feel. Tank loves the microphone.
yeah.
He'll be your opening act. He'll just smell the microphone. And the two other things for me is that when we look at this, is that humor. Is how much time do you joke with your partners, where it's open, it's fun, it's goofy and silly, and just being in that space, right? Or is it
Right.
serious all the time? And then the third one for me would be is non-judgmental. When you're with somebody, it's like you're able to just be who you are, and that person's not judging you, right?
Right. Right.
You know,
So
it's just such
yeah.
a, it tears down walls. I mean, especially the non-judgment part. when somebody, no matter what they do, and you're in a space with somebody that no matter what they do, the person still sees you as they always do. They still see you for the person you are. And the more you know them, the less anything else matters. You know what I mean? They know where your heart is. They know where your mind is. They know what your soul is about. And that doesn't, that the true sign of where your heart and soul is doesn't go very far, right? It's in that spot of goodness, or it's in the spot of not so good.
I hear you. So our show has a mascot now. So it's Real and Raw with Lynn and Brian and a dog named Tank.
There we go. Yeah.
He just, I don't know why.
And of course, you know, and of course, you know, when I think of Tank, I think of something big and massive, and here he's not so much. So, yeah.
Well, you know what, though? For the fact that his mom was a miniature pinscher and his dad was a pug, they had to go in surgery to remove him at birth. So he's just too big for the mommy. So that's why he's called Tank, because he's a little tank. He's pretty big for a miniature pinscher pug. So
it's kind of
that's why he's a tank.
It's kind of like when people reference certain people's names, you know, like Big John,
tiny, and they're big,
or something, and here they're the opposite of what they look like.
Yeah, he's got the little T-Rex hands.
Oh, geez. Oh, Tank. Hey, bud.
Yeah.
So our action step and question for all of you, Lynn, you want to pop that up on the screen when you have a chance?
Yeah.
Is very simple. Right. I mean, we thank you all for being here. For anybody that's catching the replay of this, we're honored and grateful that you're spending some time with us. And the action step and question for today is, what does respect look like to you? You can take it anywhere you want. Could be personal, could be business. We are moving into intimate relationships with Valentine's Day coming up, engaged couples, that kind of thing. So if you're in that neck of the woods, you know, what does respect look like to you with your partner? You know, any work that you want to do on this is likely going to help you. So that's the question. If you want to drop your comments and thoughts down with us so we can review them and acknowledge you for taking your time to be with us, that'd be great.
Well, we do appreciate you, and I'm sorry that we had company, but if I didn't bring him up here, he just would whine, and that was actually be more annoying to me to hear him whine than to let him come up here, because he wants to come up here.
Oh, yeah, he wants to be my mama.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is he better not make this a habit now. He's enjoying it. He's enjoying it much.
Well, just remember that next time, that he doesn't, you know, whenever he whines or whatever, that he doesn't always get what he wants.
Oh, trust me, he knows that. He knows that too. So he's got a bark collar on, and he doesn't seem to mind getting yiked at sometimes here. So anyhow, so I'm glad you were able to show us while you're on the road. We appreciate that very much. You're a faithful servant of showing up and keeping your word, and I respect you for that. I trust you for that, and I just love that we could spend time here with everybody. And
I'm learning all new different ways of using this technology, no matter what's handed to me regarding technology or internet connections or whatever. So it's a cool journey, because you never know what's going to work, but once you find something, then you stick to it.
Yeah, and the iPad works better than an iPhone. I take it.
Yep.
So yeah, because we've had better less delay than we have had in other shows.
So I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, obviously Chrome on a desktop, but you know, it's just like anything, until you try it, you know, and then, you know, it gets a little bit uncertain because of the operating system, and you know, if your internet's built into the device, or if it's not, you know, what model is it? So it's cool to try out these different things, so then I know what works for the future.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Brian, for being here.
My pleasure.
You guys have a great day. And tomorrow we're going to play some, I think, like day 2 of Backstage. That's what's going to be set up, queued up for tomorrow on YouTube and Facebook. So have a good one, guys. Brian, stay right there.
Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
See ya.